Uh, oh. How is everyone doing? Feeling a little swelling in my knee in the back. That's not good. But I feel like it was worth it. Okay. No one usually joins that quick anyway. It's not hard to find some soil, but hey, everybody. Sorry about that. It takes some time for people to come in sometimes. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. Wanted to talk about some tools for a little while. Um, I got I got a real good start today working on the pool, and some of these tools that I bought over the years, man, they're finally taking shape. I have a plate compactor, and to see there's a cane corso here that doesn't want me to be live. To see these tools like mean the difference between things happening and who knows where things are going in the world. Um, you know, I feel like learn the tools that you have, learn how to fix them, maintain them, have some backups. It's probably a good place to be. But how's everyone doing? If you're watching, where you from? Is it beautiful like it is right now? It turned into a real spring day. It hasn't really been springy of much, but yeah, I'm out here and finally I'm doing the right thing. I'm always busy. I'm always moving around. I feel like like the term like a chicken with your head cut off. I finally don't feel like that. But you know what? I got some bread. So let's get some chickens in here so you guys can see what I'm about, what I do. Only one of them got to see something. They'll come and be nosy. Oh, doesn't take much. Well, like I said, I'm just getting some work done. I like to go live so that I could, have some real time discussions. Um, when I'm working, I I tend to just think through things, and it's nice to have people at times to say, "Why are you doing that?" um, and also, it helps me to follow up. They're actually locked out of the run right now, because somebody is broody. Um, but it helps me. Hey, what's up, Steph? What's up, Suarez? Yeah, it helps me to like, the reasoning behind why I'm doing things. It kind of helps me. So I never say it out loud. You never know who's listening. But yeah, it's depending on where you live. I mean, obviously I'm not in the HOA or anything, but depending on where you live, um, your neighbors might get a little interesting about your situation. I'm in the suburbs, but I don't live like it, so I totally never say that out loud. Hey, what's up? Break fast. You breaking the fast? Yeah. So like I said, my tools. I'm really excited. In fact, it's warm enough. I'm gonna check the temperatures. It's warm enough to start getting these sunflowers in the ground. So you're in the UK, cool. Bucket list. So sometime around the end of winter, starting spring, this is one of my first projects of the season. So I took made these cinder blocks and put them around here. So this side could hold a nice little bed, and then I'll plant inside of each one of the nodes of the cinder blocks, right? And in this area, I'm thinking maybe I'll just make a little platform so I could put some potted plants, things that'll be bigger. And then I'm thinking of putting a bench here because the sun, just from a permaculture context, the sun is that way. So I don't want to be facing the sun. So it seems like a calm life. It could be. It could be. It could be, but to each his own. Um, I think one of the things for me is I would love to have a Saturday where I wake up and the projects are not like I have to get it done because I trap myself into a corner or I'm holding supplies. Uh, this it's not the start. I more so iterate. So see this hen right here is broody. She's just bothering everyone else, so I got them locked out. So it's not the start, but I iterate over projects because I don't always have time to do them. I work and I try to do them in a way that where it's easy, and that's kind of why I decided on the cinder blocks. This is my first project saying I'm gonna just go with some heavy duty blocks. That way I could maintain them with, and I could maintain around them easily one time, um, and even lawn mowed right next to them. So this side, so I'll give you the layers or the stack functions. So the sun, the sun comes from that way, and inside this chicken run, this is the first complete year with them in here, there's a lot less shade than the other situation that they had. So the idea is that any of the perennials that I've gotten familiar with and have done super well without any effort from me, without watering or anything, um, I started moving those over here. So we have some ground ivy, some catnip, bee balm. So this bee balm is probably going to be like 3 feet, 3.5 feet tall. Um, this is a mullein and a yarrow, and the yarrow didn't transplant that well, but it's definitely alive. It's going to take on. And then in the back, I'm going to plant some sunflowers, different heights. So the idea is to give the hens shade, and they're going to want to be in that situation more. Make the pick. Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't try to get anybody with the thumbnail. I was, I was just out here, man. I was just out here, man. Sorry. Yeah. Thanks for coming, Mr. Pick. I was just explaining to Stephen Brooks what's going on. So yeah, I started. Today is the day one of starting my It wasn't really planned, but I started my pool. I started so the phase that my pool is in makes it harder because um, the plumbing seems to be fine, but I need a new pool. Where the decision would have to be made, and I reshaped the bottom of the pool because it is the only real time that you can do that. So the pool, when we purchased the house, it had we've never used it, but I didn't know. I just saw pool and I was like, okay, I got a pool, right? That's a good add-on to buy the home. But the pool had a play bottom, which means it was one height the whole way. And for me, I'm 6'3". It would have been like a big old splash pool. Good luck with everything, man, in the pool. We need to invite, yo, the whole, hey, everybody on this side of the Mississippi is invited. So, and I barbecue as well, man. Make sure you like and subscribe. You need to come back. You got some, good insight. I like chopping it up with people. Um, Very interactive live streamer. So the pool bottom, we had small kids at the time, and the bottom of the pool, it was sand, and it it lived its life. It was, thank you so much, Stefan. It was on its end of life, right? Especially because it was exposed to the elements. The previous liner broke. So after gutting everything, getting a quote, when people come, see, the sun just went away. When people come, maybe this will maybe YouTube will get more people in here if I do this. But no, but when people come, as far as contractors and vendors, they're gonna quote you on what you have. They're not gonna say, "Oh, we want to do more for you." So when me and my wife started learning about, no, we don't want a splash pool. I didn't, spend all this money to invest in a splash pool. So we started looking at a pool. It's like 33 by 17 and a half. And so it's a nice, size for, a single family home. And we wanted it to go down deeper. So we started, uh, make sure to tune in for update. Absolutely. I give updates all the time. In fact, um, hey, Miss Missy, chatters. Yeah, I give updates all the time. In fact, today is the 90th straight day of me live streaming. So I'm always here. I want to say running my mouth. Some people say I have good insight. It depends on the day. Um, but yeah, so I'm 6'3". The pool, as it stood, would have been about 4 feet the whole way. So it would have hit me like right here. So I know I had kids, but that's going a little far. Like I'm just gonna be splashing around for the duration of me paying off a mortgage, right? So we had to do something. So then we broke ground on the project to make the pool. At first, it was gonna be 8 feet, and when I started digging it out, um, it was rough. It was rough, and it was one of those things that taking on by yourself in the beginning is great. You break ground, you throw, like, look, see, I'm out here. We throw stuff in the ground here. So see, I'm willing to break ground. I have no issues with breaking ground. But once you're in there, you're gonna have down days. You're gonna have weather delays. There's just so many things that could delay you. So then, conversation we were having last night, I lost motivation because I did not have the discipline. If I had the discipline and I just did what I needed to do, we would have been in a way better spot. So I underestimated the amount of earth and spent sand that would come out of the pool. So first we're just throwing it, we bucking buckets. So now we have a mountain of sand, and the sand had a weird smell to it. Things are growing in it. The ants are loving it. Everything, all the weeds, they love it. Um, but when we started building this mountain, it looked like we didn't make a dent in the actual pool. It just looks like it went from 4 feet to 4 feet 2 inches, right? So the next year came. There's other projects in the house. We're settling in, and there's still projects. I mean, that's what a house is. They might as well just call homes projects, especially if you buy a foreclosure like I did. I would do it again, but why I'm telling you this is that I would do it differently. So we started thinking about, okay, well, the pool area needs work, so we would give effort to the pool area. Oh, what do you want? Yeah, we want to make our own pavers. Here, like, when you're new and you think that you're going to be able to accomplish everything, and we're gonna make our pavers, and it's gonna alternate with the grass pattern. So it's gonna be like a grid. It's gonna look like a chessboard. And then in the back, we're gonna have reclaimed wood from the old deck, and everything is just gonna go perfect. We're gonna have these lattices. So, I hear it and I start carving out an area, start digging in and carving it out. Another year goes by. So when the winter comes, you're pretty much dead. You're not out here doing this work. So you don't have a whole year. So the next time I actually come, all I saw was sand dunes. It was sand mountains that I have created. So talk about the humiliation. But I'm a wild boy, so I take it on. And another year passes, and we finally got to the point where it was more or less shaped the way we needed it. And then covid hits, and covid starts coviding, and it became not the priority. Oh, just Rib, what's up? Nice message. I'm glad you have a message for me today. How about you? So we COVID hit. It wasn't the priority. At some point during that time, we switched over from the mountains of sand, spent sand that probably has some sort of chemical in it that's from the pool, and we bought 500 sandbags and started filling the sandbags so that it was easier to move them around. I've moved them around from here to there to there, and there was still more to dig out. So that was another year, and I kind of got stuck in that phase because when your eyes are bigger than your stomach, you can't see everything. And that's how I felt for a long time. So expressed it this year, and a lot of real lessons and a lot of appreciation for what I have done. And that's kind of what I wanted this live to be about. A lot of the tools and investments that I made are finally paying off because so I have a plate compactor. A plate compactor is an interesting tool because there isn't really a homeowner's version of a plate compactor. You could do a hand tamper, and those aren't cheap either. I mean, for what you're just getting a flat hunk of metal with, some sort of weathered stick or fiberglass or steel, and that's gonna run you on the 8-inch side or probably 6-inch side. No, I think it is 8 inches. That'll run you like $45, and then the big one, $65, right? But because I am not able to do projects fast, I don't have the hands. I need to be able to have something that could sit around, could kind of weather, and I could get a lot done when I get a lot done. So a plate compactor is absolutely, where I was gonna go. Now, the cheapest over the counter plate compactor is gonna be at Harbor Freight. watching reviews for years. Finally said I'm gonna get it. Harbor Freight gives a nice little discount. And if you want to use the discount, it's usually on one item. So you go there and you make sure that it's a large purchase. So $660 for a plate compactor. So here's what I'm saying. You get the nice hand tamper, and that's $65, or you spend $660. With a discount, it'll cover the tax. So it's roughly still going to be $660. And that's not even the one that you would buy at a big box store, or, probably a better tool offering, right? So big purchase, you don't use it much. It's spotty, but I'm finally at the point because I came out here and broke some ground, and I got this thing down into the pool, and I said, let me just see what happens. And really, what happened was I was because I never buy something for like one reason. That doesn't make sense to me. So I have this bowl that was kind of cut out in the front yard, which is going to be and will have to be some sort of water catchment. I've hinted at a pond so that the water stays. I've hinted at just a water basin where it's able to stay for a good number of days. A lot of the wildlife, I could pump water out of there from my gardens. I could catch my rainwater, do a little canal into it so it's always like filled up. And it's just like permaculture stuff, right? Stacking functions. And so, same thing. I carved it out, and it's there. It's a bowl. A year goes by, I'm not able to fulfill the project. But every ounce of progress has been worth it, and I could see it. Like, yes, I see a bowl in the ground, 15 wide by like 20, with one deep side and a shallow side. So I could kind of see when I walk past it, I see a vision. I see the whole vision, right? And it's just beautiful. But no one else is going to be able to see it, right? I may have to I may have to superimpose what it is. So it's interesting that others can't see what I can see. And the only way that I feel like it makes sense to keep working is because I'm trying to get closer so that it happens, so that others could actually say, wow, like this is, amazing. And it's a functional thing. So, it kind of has to happen. So last night I started doing, what are you guys doing? All right, I'll see you later. So last night I started going online and doing some research about feeling like I'm not that far off from being able to seal this thing myself. Now, the amount of clay that you have in your soil matters. Um, I've seen a lot of, I don't even know how to say it, but like rough experts be able to go in there barefoot and seal ponds, like seal small water basins. And that was always the idea, that I'm going to be able to do it. And now that this thing becomes more of an urgency, I'm leaning towards buying a liner. But I ultimately feel like if I get a pool liner, I failed the whole project, because that's not necessarily where it started. Now I'm willing to accept that if that's what it has to be, but the question is, does it have to be that, right? So I'm doing the research, and what pushed me back was, I'm asking, okay, and I've done this research before, but I said, let me just start fresh, right? All right, let me get rid of this comment. I thought if you were gonna hang out here, um, I wouldn't mind the comment, but it's probably not healthy for the stream anyway. So I'm looking up what kind of liner, because there's like different types of plastics that liners come in, and then there's also, it's similar to the plate compactor. The price for the trash thing is really small. The price for the real deal is enormous. Um, so this little small area, I kind of quoted it at $1,200. I'm, I'm not spending $1,200 on a little drink of water, a little a little splash. Why would I do that? Right? But obviously, it's now. Like I said, I didn't dream the pond. The pond showed me it wanted to be a pond. The land slopes down, and then it had like a little suppression in it. And one winter, it froze in a way that I basically saw a frozen pond, and I went and stepped on it and it was frozen. I was able to walk across it. Well, not really walk. I was doing the cool runnings walk because it was ice. It was, you could have slipped all across it. And I said, this thing clearly is telling me that it wants to be a pond. So that's how I got started on it. But because I joined the project, I gotta, finish the project. I'm not spending $1,200 on something that expressed itself to me that it wanted to be that. Like I don't know if you could see, but okay, it's probably too far. But there's a swarm, a bee swarm trap over there in a tree. I didn't pay $1. I paid $5 for the handles. $1,200. I don't see it, and it doesn't make sense to me. And granted, I don't care about that industry and people who want stuff that's over the top. I want something that may mess up, and so I've looked on Facebook secondhand. You see some stuff on there, but last night I really went deep into the research, and the $1,200 already made me feel I don't have any kind of pumps. I'm not, making sure the water is clean enough. There's going to be more of a cost. So what am I looking into? And I said, you really got to focus on the pool. Stop trying to focus on here, there, there, there. You can't spend. Sometimes when I work outside, I wake up 6, 7, maybe 8, depending on how tired I am on a weekend, and I go outside and I work until it's dark. I'll come in a few times, maybe play a video game, go grab a banana. That's why this is in my hand. And I'll just keep working. My wife says she's going to go get something to put on the grill. So I'm already outside. I'll just throw it on the grill and I'll just keep working. Um, but what I'm working on, it doesn't mean I'll have to work on the pool and exhaust myself the whole time. But you got to have that one thing that next iteration means a ton. It's really giving you something back. Living with the sand. I'm moving the sand around to make room for the real project, which is the pool. Who the hell cares if you have a sand wall outside of the pool if you have a pool? While I'm in the pool and cooling off and refreshing, I could take back my gym membership, which I swear I'm gonna use because they have a pool. Paid for my pool. That's probably where I'm gonna get the $1,200 from. Uh, so yeah, so I was doing all this research, and it was actually making me realize that I was not far off, and I found it interesting because I've done this before where I'm looking at something and I don't have the confidence to do it. Maybe it's motivation, discipline. I think it's confidence for me. I've been let down on certain things, and I don't want to get stuck in the middle of something. Like my microwave's been out for like 2 months. It um, wasn't heating up stuff, right? Stuff, and I refuse to look at it. It's a confidence issue because I don't want to open a thing up, get in the middle of the project, and take time away from other things. I have a lack of confidence that is the way to go. And maybe I'm using, not the best term for it, but that's kind of how I see it. I do lose confidence with certain things. What you doing, Caesar? Are you trying to see if the run's open? The run is closed. I told you, you're not gonna go broody. We don't have a rooster. There's no one hatching out here. So so I started doing this research, and the research learning. Things were clicking because, and admittedly, I use AI, to help me continue to go deeper as I ask the question. And I found this very helpful for this, and I use this for this particular reason because it likes to make suggestions, make you feel good. You're on the right path. You're doing great. Everything's gonna work out. And I said, but you said this before. Oh, you know what? But you're always on the right path. Like, okay. So one thing that I asked it, it was basically trying to get me to understand that because I have a shallow section and a deep section, I don't have to make all of this happen at once. I could actually have the plan of half of it is going to be sealed, earthen sealed, with, whether it's bentonite clay or whether there's enough clay in the area right now. And the other half, you could work on the shallow side. You could work on that after, and that could rely on a liner. So now we're up to my speed because I actually could get something back like right away. But it's, now it's how am I going to seal this area? What's up, buddy? I'm on stream. Okay, they could roast marshmallows. So so I said something about I said something about what was that, Caesar? In my prompt about last year I used to try to fill it up, and it did take hours to for the water to dissipate. And I actually got encouragement of what that meant. That meant that I there is clay in it, because the water would have left right away. And I knew there was clay in it, but percentage wise, I'm not an expert at anything. So it made me confident that your process is just wrong. I didn't understand the process. So it was saying, I said, look, I got a plate compactor. I'm not just a regular, I got tools. We got tools. We need to do something. And I'm gonna keep having tools. I'm probably gonna have a skid steer at one point. I've been looking at a skid steer, and if things go right monetarily, what I got going on in my life, it's obvious that I want a skid steer because I want to do big projects, and I don't want to spend a lot of work on the projects that I struggle to do. I want to use my brain to use the right tool and the skill so that we can get things done faster and get something back from it. So what it was saying is, oh, you probably don't understand how compaction works. It's like, I know I've walked around and compacted a lot of things, and it said it's really about the moisture and removing the oxygen. So I was like, okay, I don't think I've ever done that. Um, could I use my plate compact? They said absolutely. So what you need to do is you just need to make sure there's not big roots, and you need to make actions actually happen, and it's not muddy because muddy is going to cause it to crust and to break up over right away. It said don't do too much disturbance, and if you want you can mix it with clay. So then I'm like, so are you saying to disturb the soil, and that's going to go into the seed bank, probably going to get some more weeds if I don't act on it fast? And I'm like, man, this something is there. So I continue to ask and ask, and I realized, like, you know what, I think I could do this. So this morning when I woke up, following the plan of when I have time, making sure that I'm spending my time on the most important thing. And right now, that being the pool. Why the pool? Well, we've already lived with things that aren't functional, don't function well. We've lived with that, right? We've overcome that. My family is pretty content and happy. I'm pretty content and happy. I'm proud of even the things that, I would love to get my house painted, but it's not a high priority. My driveway needs a little bit of work. That's not a high priority. My family is not, we don't feel a way. Now we know once these things are accomplished, we could take things to another level, but we should be happy for what we have, and learn how to take care of that, right? So that's why the pool, because the pool is the only thing that is incomplete for us. There's a lot of deviations we've done to veer off into things that I never thought I would be doing. This was chickens. A lot of the things that I can't take back and won't take back right now was not a part of the plan, right? The pool was the plan. So I said to myself this morning, you just did all that research about the the new pond that you want to install. What is different about the pool? There's some clay in there. There's probably a little bit more sand. You could get the plate compacted down in there. You can make sure it's wet. You could get rid of all these weeds. So then I said, if I'm gonna do something, there's no more sand to move from the outside. There's a couple of bags I did take out on the inside, and I just started weeding. I put the plate compactor down there, and I compacted like a section. The section is probably like, it's the top section. It's the shallow end, uh, but it's like a quarter. Let me see from a map. So it's supposed to be 10 feet. Yeah, it's actually more than a quarter, but it doesn't have any incline or decline. It's a flat area. Got everything out, all the weeds, compacted it down. I'm walking on it, it feels compacted. And I'm like, hold on, I've never used this thing correctly. So now I've learned how to use the compactor correctly, and I'm already able to see how it would be when I get to the other project, the pond project. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to talk about tools, and just following up on, use what you have. I'm a bit further than that. Like, know how to maintain and fix. And if you see, I'm still riding out with the most reliable lawn tool that I have is the first lawnmower that we purchased, which is just a little 21-inch wide Ryobi. And I keep it around because if it died on me, if it got beat up, I don't think I would lose, sleep, because that was $100 spent 9 years ago. So it's more than held up to its weight. Um, but at one point, it wasn't functional, and I opened up the tube, opened up YouTube, and realized that it was likely an electrical problem because of some known issues with the type of plastic parts that they use. And I don't know about other companies, but this seems to be very repetitive for Ryobi in these lawnmowers, these low end, less than $200 lawnmowers. So I just went for it. I have enough electronics experience, but I went for it. I fixed the darn thing. That was like 2 or 3 years ago, and I remember my wife laughing because it has the I still have not made or finalized, because you say you're gonna do something and it's hard to uphold with everything else. And I've left. I think it has a, what is it called, a rocker switch, and then it has like a button. I've left those things dangling and hanging, and it stays out in the elements. And I think this is the third year. and this thing has been functional. It works. How to take care of these damn batteries, I'll be all right. But that was it. I just wanted to talk about tools. I'll give you a last shot. If anyone is still in here and may have a question about what I was talking about or what I'm doing or what I'm about to do, feel free to throw that in the chat. Um, Leave a comment. Other than that, I'll be on live tonight. It's night number 90 of Open Studio. We're going to 100 days. Uh, your favorite creator has never done that. 100 days. All right, y'all. I don't see any comments, so I'm going to get out of here and do my work. Peace.